Everyone says that Airbnbs ruin the housing market. But what if I told you that we have placed dozens of families who have been left displaced after disasters like floods and wildfires? Let's talk about the real impact of short-term rental operators and how we are stepping up when the community needs us most. I'm Mercedes, founder of MBX Homes, and we manage just shy of 100 properties in Southern California. These properties vary from Airbnbs, short-term rentals, midterm rentals, corporate rentals, the list goes on. Today, I want to break the stigma that Airbnb operators and short-term rental hosts are ruining the housing market, and we're the reason that it's gone to shit. But the truth is that we are providing some amazing critical solutions when families need temporary housing. When tragedies happen to a family or to a home, people need a place to go. For years, there have been companies like corporate relocation companies that have really worked hand in hand with insurance companies to relocate families in need. As you know, Los Angeles just went through one of the worst wildfires in history. Texas just experienced the worst flooding in history, where so many lives were taken, so many homes were taken. But natural disasters have been happening forever. I mean, there's hurricanes, tornadoes, flooding, lightning, blizzards, you name it. And unfortunately, when these things happen in communities, many times homes are destroyed or unfortunately completely lost. And the families who live in those homes have nowhere to go. These aren't tourists. These are local families who have been displaced, who need help ASAP. When these tragedies do happen, the families need a place to go like now. And hotels are of course a great temporary option, but hotels can get very expensive. Many times they don't allow pets. And imagine being in a small 500 square foot room with no kitchen for more than 2 weeks. So when the internet trolls and the general public come at us for being the ones who are in the housing market, it's almost disrespectful because they're not seeing the other side of it. Yeah, we do welcome tourists occasionally, but most of the time, our homes are going to families who are in need or who really need some sort of temporary accommodation because they're going through a rough part in their life. Having a furnished rental and having that temporary solution, it's honestly like a breath of fresh air when these families and people are going through like the toughest time in their life. Like if your house just burned down and you have 4 kids, 2 dogs, and a grandparent that lives with you, like you have no idea what your tomorrow looks like. But if we're offering like a clean accommodation that your whole family can at least be together and offer some sort of stability so you could think about your next steps, like honestly, that is what we're here for, and those are the stories we love to see. And this is also like the side that the news and the media outlets don't show. Like they're showing those huge floods in Texas that just happened, but they're not showing like what's actually happening to these families afterward and who is actually stepping in to help them. When these wildfires happened, one of our cleaners' brothers offered an entire apartment building that they had just remodeled, and they housed 24 firefighters that came from Las Vegas. Like that's huge, right? And I think it's so heartwarming that our industry is able to provide those solutions, not only for the victims, but also the people that are here to help those in need. And if we wanted to flip the script, the people who were price gouging during these wildfires and during the flooding, and the people that were really making it difficult for families to find housing, we're the landlords and we're the realtors, the real estate agents that have no idea how to market and how to speak to people in need. And I'm a realtor, so I can be completely honest. There's actually a black book in LA circulating with people who were absolutely price gouging and just offering like these crazy terms. Like there were families who just lost their entire home, and these landlords and realtors wanted 1 year upfront because they knew the insurance was paying. They wanted a 2-year lease because they knew they had no home to go to. And those are just terms that a family who just went through a traumatic experience cannot commit to. And that is why our industry sadly thrived during those wildfires, during those floods, because we had so much inventory to offer to help those families at a time. And to kind of wrap up talking about how we do work with insurance companies and all these corporate relocation companies, we are able to help them because we know we have to act fast. We have the inventory, we have the supplies. Like, you need a crib, no problem. You need a walker, no problem. You need a handle for your shower, we got you. Like, these are just very easy things that we could execute within a day to help a family. Whereas the traditional landlord or the realtor who has a house for lease that wants a 2-year lease can't necessarily help with, or maybe they don't want to help with those things because they feel like it's not their duty or obligation. So it's a very, very niche part of real estate. And we lost 3 properties that we managed in the Palisade fire. So it does hit differently when you actually have properties in your portfolio that are just like gone, and you have these clients of yours that not only lost their investment property, but also their primary property. Like, it's just so mind-blowing, to be honest. And here we are 6 months after those fires, and we are still relocating families because their 6-month lease just came up and they don't know what they're going to do. They don't know if they're going to rebuild. They don't know if they want to sell their land. Their kids are now moving schools. Like, there are so many moving factors to this when somebody's home is just gone, that you really have to have grace and just work with the families and really try to accommodate them. And if you have a home that you can accommodate this family in, like, amazing. Like, you don't know what an impact you are having on these families. And we're going to continue advocating for this industry because, yes, people typically do get into the short-term rental market and this side of real estate because they want to make money. But we're not talking to the price gougers, the bad operators, and the bad eggs in our industry. There is a way you could still make a very good amount of money and still help people in need. Co-living has been a huge buzzword for the past 2 years in the real estate industry, and MBX Homes has just hopped on board. For those of you not familiar, co-living is basically when you rent out a whole home and you rent out each room. And the tenants share the common spaces like the kitchen, the bathroom, the backyard, etc. In LA, a 1-bedroom apartment can range anywhere from $2,500 to $3,000 per month. That's unfurnished and with no utilities, and you're lucky if it comes with a parking space. Co-living offers a more cost-effective way to rent. Instead of you paying $3,000 for a 1-bedroom apartment, you can rent a great private room anywhere from $1,300 to $1,500 per month. And many times these co-living situations come fully furnished and utilities are many times included. Let's be honest, there is no affordable housing in LA. And unfortunately, this is becoming the norm in a lot of other cities. My company, MBX Homes, got into co-living because honestly, we really know that there's a problem. We got into it because investors came to us and they're like, we are building this co-living facility and we need a really great operator to help us design, bring comfortable furnishings, and welcome different types of people into this model. And one may ask, who is living in a co-living space? Honestly, these people just want a place to like lay their head down at night. They're out there working all day, they're going to school, they're working for Uber, for DoorDash, like they're exhausted and they want to save money. And I respect the hustle, and I truly do love welcoming them to a safe place, a place that is decorated very cute, a place that has a full functioning kitchen. And there's a sense of community because now they get to interact with people who have similar interests, who are going to the same school, who they may not have met if it wasn't for the co-living space. MBX Homes definitely has a luxury presence, but to be honest, not everybody is coming to LA for vacation, which is why I love that we have a very broad range of properties. Anywhere from the luxury villa that it's $30K a month to the co-living spaces that a person can rent out a room for $1,500. We 100% believe that there is room for both. There's room for the luxury high-end traveler that wants a fabulous villa for them and their friends. And there's also the need for people who either need a temporary roof over their heads because they just went through something traumatic, or they're in between places and they need a private room just for the time being. We have been expanding our inventory and working with different types of investors because we truly believe that there is an option for everybody. We love that we're becoming more inclusive and we're learning about different needs within real estate within our own community. So is every host doing this ethically? No. There are still people out there who are price gouging, who are not welcoming all types of people into their homes, and just doing unethical things that we 100% do not support. But that's not the whole picture. There are responsible operators like ourselves and like many of our colleagues who are running a whole business while still being part of a solution to a really big problem. So if you're an internet troll out there, think twice before coming at us saying that we're ruining the housing market. We're just running a very different type of real estate, but there is still a need for our little niche of furnished rentals. And if you're a fellow host out there doing good in your community, having flexible terms, welcoming all these families, make sure to drop your name in our comments, and I would love to hear your narrative and where you're at, what community you're part of, and how you're helping. And if you're a troll, troll on. Thank you so much for watching this video. It was really important that I felt like I wanted to put the good out there and really show what we're doing, what other operators are doing. And if you are an operator, think about what you can do in your community, what issues you're facing within real estate and affordable housing. Make sure you like and subscribe and let me know what else you want to hear from us regarding all things real estate.